This time on The Gadget Show.
Can you improve on perfection?
Yeah, let's do it!
Well, Otis and I try to find out as we enter the massive world of how-to websites and attempt to learn a skill online in just a month.
Can Jason become a good enough cook to satisfy top chef Anthony Worrell-Thompson?
Because you're now costing me money. I've just had to turn customers away.
Oh, no, you're joking, really?
Yes.
And can Otis become a good enough guitarist to play live on stage at a festival?
John and I investigate the very latest tech found on different sides of the world in our Great East-West Challenge.
This is a gadget, Lucy.
And John goes to bed with Dawn Porter, apparently to test bedroom TVs.
Hi!
Hi!
Over here! Hello and welcome to The Gadget Show.
Now, have you ever wanted to improve yourself?
Of course.
Develop a new skill, a talent, whatever? Yeah, well, based on my experience in this week's challenge, I think I'm uniquely qualified to give you a little bit of advice on that, yeah? If that learning of a skill involves being followed by a TV crew, then I advise that you say no, yeah? In fact, don't say no, say, jog on!
As you can tell, Jason obviously really enjoyed this week's challenge, in which he went head-to-head with the slightly more even-tempered Otis Dealey to learn a new skill or a challenge using technology. And then at the end of the challenge, they were to be judged by professionals to see just who had won. Jog on.
As if he was professional enough to judge my work.
In the last couple of years, there's been an explosion in the number of learning sites and how-to videos on the internet. They claim to be able to teach you anything from knitting to changing a tyre or even how to break the underwater Rubik's Cube record. We wanted to find out just how good these online learning sites really are, so we were summoned to a Wi-Fi cafe for our challenge.
I just got an email.
Yeah, I've got one as well, from Susie.
Yeah, it says, click on this link to watch a video.
Dealey, are you chewing gum? Pay attention. This week's challenge is for you to both learn a new skill. However, you can only use online resources to do so. You have 1 month to learn your new skill, and after that period of time, you will each be tested and judged by an expert in your chosen field. So choose carefully. No messing around, Bradbury. Slackers will end up in detention.
I'm compelled to learn. None of my teachers look like that at school.
We had 30 days to teach ourselves a new skill from scratch, but before we could start learning, we had to choose our subjects. I've always wanted to play the piano. I've always wanted to learn how to ride a horse, although I feel that's maybe not the best one for an online course. You could do that ballet course you've always wanted to do.
Excellent. Why don't you do that hairdressing course you wanted to do?
I'm serious, there's a makeup course here. I reckon I can really see you on it.
In searching for the skills we were going to learn, we found millions of teaching videos and a huge variety of sites like howcast.com, allison.com and the aptly named teachyourselfanything.net, offering a combination of free and pay-for tutorials. Whether you want to pick up a quick tip, such as how to tie a Windsor tie knot, or have Playboy bunnies teach you the best way to wash your car, it seems the internet has the answers.
And online learning isn't just about replicating real-life teaching. It's also about developing innovative ways of schooling. Second Life, for example, has virtual university campuses. And there's been developments like Pebbles the robot, which provides a direct link to the classroom for sick children. As a place to learn, the internet is hard to beat. There's just so much out there. All you need is an internet connection, and you can learn to samba in the confines of your own house, hover a helicopter, or build a kite. Whatever it is that you're looking to learn, it's there, and often it's completely free.
And just as anyone can learn online, so too anyone can teach, as we decided to demonstrate by creating our own how-to video.
You give me any bike, and I'll show you how to ride it backwards.
Armed only with a handy cam, a bike and a sense of gay abandon, and of course the all-important safety gear, it didn't take us long to put together a succinct video guide to this backward stunt.
You get it halfway round, and you push off, and then you just sit onto the handlebars, and you can pedal at the same time, and then when you want, just take your hands off. So cute. Thanks very much, my good man. Come with me on a tour of the park. Backward style!
Upload. With some instructional video gold in the can, all we needed now was an internet connection and some useful sites to upload to. Bespoke how-to sites like VideoJug offer user-generated video-based learning on a whole host of subjects. And of course, there's YouTube, whose massive global appeal means that you can find all the how-to know-how you'll ever need, as well as plenty more you never will.
It's easy to do, which is great, and means there's a lot of knowledge sharing going on out there, as there's so much content. The downside to that is, of course, that sometimes the good stuff, like ours, can be hard to find.
It was all well and good leaving the video guide to go forth into the online world and spread a little enlightenment, but we still had to decide upon our own online skill. It was time to knuckle down to some serious research. Our new skill was out there, we just had to find it.
And in the end, I decided to get round to doing something I'd wanted to do for ages. Using online tutorials only, I am going to learn to play the guitar. And there was certainly no shortage of online resources to help me do it, but would they be good enough to transform me into the next Jimi Hendrix in a month?
Meanwhile, I'd come up with a plan too.
I've got to focus in on just one thing, something that I'm happy to spend my time doing, and I think I've come up with that. The skill I'm going to learn online is cooking.
And as my culinary talents extended pretty much to burning toast, I was certainly going to need the help, as my family were only too willing to confirm.
Is Daddy's cooking really delicious? No? Is it a bit rubbish?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait for this challenge to start.
Yes, I can't wait for it to finish.
You know when you decide to do something and you're full of excitement at doing it and then reality sets in?
Yes, the daily grind of having to actually learn and
You
improve.
could have learned absolutely anything you wanted to do.
I know, but that makes me feel even worse because I could have not chosen cooking. I could have learnt knitting, something great. Anything but cooking.
Oh, if you want to learn how to ride a bike backwards, by the way, then all you have to do is type into YouTube, learn how to ride a bike backwards, and these two clowns will teach you to do that. Join us later on in the show where they learn their skills using technology and are judged by experts to see how they got on.
It's time for a break now, but after that, John snuggles up with Dawn Porter to test the newest and best bedroom TVs around.
And later, Susie takes on John in a challenge to decide who's got the best tech on the planet, the East or the West.
And you're back just in time to join us for this week's Wall of Fame.
Yeah, it's our weekly battle between gadget greats to try and find a gadget that can join the likes of the iPod or Space Invaders on the hallowed wall.
And this week it's the battle of the world's most popular and successful construction toys. It's Meccano versus Lego.
This is Meccano. It may look like just a strip of metal with holes in, but connect a load of strips, add some pulleys, wheels and gears, and this toy can help you create an engineering masterpiece.
This wheelbarrow was made from the first ever Meccano kit.
Launched in 1901 in the era of great British Victorian engineers, it came with 17 pieces and instructions to make 12 different models. The concept took off immediately and its success quickly spread all over the world.
This was the largest Meccano set ever sold, outfit number 7.
Launched in 1928, it came with 2,500 separate pieces and cost £22, 10 shillings. Meccano was also used by real-life engineers and inventors. Alex Issigonis used it to work out the transmission system of the original Mini. And the prototype machine built to crack the Enigma code was again made entirely out of Meccano.
600 imitators have tried to copy Meccano. And though by the 80s the empire was all but gone, the brand never disappeared. It's now owned by Japanese toy company Nikko, and the kits contain plastic parts as well as metal ones. But the self-building ethos is still there.
Meccano is without doubt the greatest construction toy ever devised. It's a British institution and it just has to have a place on the Wall of Fame.
Meccano, schmeccano. In my opinion, there is only one truly legendary construction toy, and it's used by children the world over for 5 billion hours of playing time per year. I'm, of course, talking about Lego. Lego began in a land far, far away. Well, all right, it was Denmark. Anyway, by furniture and toy maker Ole Kirk Christiansen, who in 1949 used Denmark's first injection moulding machine to produce the clever little interconnecting bricks. His invention took off immediately and was soon strewn across the floor of kids' bedrooms the world over. There, that should do it. Lego continues to be a phenomenal success. Let me hit you with some facts. 7 Lego sets are sold every second. If you counted all the Lego pieces throughout the world, there'd be 62 for every living person. And there's more. Each year, Lego produces 15 billion bricks using 24,000 tonnes of plastic and special mouldings worth 50 grand each. And these mouldings are stored in a bunker capable of withstanding a direct hit from an airliner. It was named the toy of the 21st century, and you can buy Harry Potter and Star Wars kits, as well as my favourite, the cutting-edge robotic Lego. There's even 4 Legoland amusement parks dotted around the world. In my opinion, Lego has to be on the Wall of Fame. But John, just in case you're having a wobbly moment, I've built my own, out of Lego.
That was really fascinating.
Thank
As
you.
ever, I've got a couple of questions. Susie, Meccano, isn't it just really a bit ugly?
How very dare you! This is a piece of history. It's useful.
It's a good point. Has Lego ever been of any use?
Absolutely none whatsoever. But that doesn't matter, because it's great fun, John. It's all about the fun factor. Whether it's a battleship or a miniature Wall of Fame. Can I go to Meccano World? No. And if I could, it'd probably be a bit rubbish. I'm just saying it like it is.
Ooh, this is quite a difficult decision. But I have made it.
Good.
And there's one clear winner, really.
Thank you very much.
And it is... Lego!
Woohoo!
Because it's such a great piece of design. And it's really moved with the times, embracing technology and robotics.
Very much so.
And it's so amazingly popular. And for all those reasons, it thoroughly deserves its place on the Gadget Show's Wall of Fame.
But which one? The big one or the Lego one? I'm going to go for the Lego one.
Now, I want to talk to you about TVs. The TVs in our living rooms are getting ever bigger. Forget Porsches and superbikes. These days, it seems, you prove your manhood with the size of your plasma. But a 60-inch HD-ready monster isn't going to work everywhere. In the bedroom, for example. Mrs. Bentley and I like nothing better than a spot of CSI before lights out. But having something this size hanging on the bedroom wall, well, it would give me nightmares. What you need for the bedroom is something small and neat, around this size. But which one should you go for? Well, it won't surprise you to learn. I've been doing a bit of testing to find out. 19 inches is apparently the most popular size for smaller TVs. And it's also the cheapest size of flat-screen telly you can buy. So, I got together 6 decent-looking examples, all HD ready and with Freeview tuners, and set about whittling them down to 3 for closer inspection. Picture quality is obviously very important when you're buying a TV, and by looking at them all side by side, I can get a really good idea of which 3 deserve to go through to our final test. And after a good few hours comparing pictures and sound, I'd chosen the final 3. My first choice is this Panasonic. It's very easy to set up with a particularly clear remote and an SD card slot for viewing your photos. My second choice is this Sharp. First impressions suggest it has a notably good picture with bright, involving colours. And the final contender, this Sony. Even though it's got a slightly unusual 16:10 screen format, it does have 2 HDMI sockets. So, 3 small TVs with potential. But how do I decide which one's best? I'm going to snuggle up in bed, of course, with TV journalist and self-confessed TV addict Dawn Porter. Can I go this side?
It's actually my side.
Oh.
On this occasion, it's okay.
Dawn's known for tackling sensitive subjects like nudity, extreme dieting and mail-order brides. So what would she make of our tellies? What sort of things would you be looking for?
In a living room, I'd want my TV to look really slick. In a bedroom, I think you can have a bit more character with it, can't you? I used to have this really cool kind of old retro-looking one, but it wasn't a flat screen. I really liked it because it was really fun and cheeky. Or just a pink one.
We set about testing our TVs with a Blu-ray disc of X-Men for high-definition pictures and the Gadget Show for standard def. But first, we had a look at some stills, as the Panasonic has that useful SD slot. What do you think of the way it looks?
It looks really nice. It's not massively interesting. It doesn't thrill me in any way. It's just a nice, kind of basic-looking telly.
Let's see if it looks any better when we play an HD Blu-ray movie through it. In spite of it being only 19 inches, you were still terrified by the...
Terrified by that. The picture's amazing. I don't feel like I'm getting the most out of the sound. I think you would definitely need some surround sound with this.
But what about when we play the standard def clip?
Still a pretty good picture. I'm actually quite impressed by that.
So, how will the Sharp fare? This telly's the cheapest of our three, but when it came to styling, it was our favourite. Like the Panasonic, though, it has only one HDMI input.
Slightly more attractive, actually. I quite like it's more kind of defined. Quite like that about it.
Let's try. I'll put a disc in.
It looks lovely. It actually looks like it might be a better picture than the last one.
The colours are richer as well.
Yeah, and the sound is... It just sounds good. I mean, if I was going to buy a TV and this one was cheaper than that one, which is so similar, then obviously you'd go for the cheaper one, wouldn't you?
Cheaper one with a better picture, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Finally, the Sony. As well as 2 HDMI inputs, this has a higher resolution of 1680 by 1050 pixels.
We're getting into...
Oh, yes. Sorry.
feels very natural. I like this, the look of this one. This, for me, is like a bit of a man's bedroom TV.
Oh, why is that?
Because it's got that kind of bold, big, statuesqueness about it. Every time! That sound is the best out of all three. It's not the best picture on this one, is it?
It's not, actually. It's not. It looks almost as though you're losing a bit in the shadows.
Losing a bit in the shadows, and it's just not very defined.
So, after all that bed-bound testing, which TV was Dawn's favourite?
If I had to pick one of those two, I'd pick the Sharp. I thought the picture quality was really good, and the sound quality also really good, and it was reasonably priced, so what more could I want?
Now for the G ratings. It's just 2 Gs for the Panasonic. It's easy to use, but the relatively poor picture quality lets it down. 2 Gs as well for the Sony. It's got good sound and lots of sockets, but this doesn't make up for a mediocre picture and clunky design. Finally, it's 3 Gs for the Sharp. A good picture, decent sound and attractive price make it the Gadget Show's favourite bedroom TV.
Right, look at this. It's a mini football, and it's multifunctional because it's also a TV remote control. So look, it changes your volume and it changes the channels.
Clever.
So a part of me thinks it's quite sweet and it's quite cool, but the other part of me thinks that it's an absolutely ridiculous idea.
It's not ridiculous, it's brilliant. It's all about having a few mates round for a laugh. On the head. There we go. Yeah, oh, nice footwork. Easy. Take it out of the way. I'm clear. Just backheel it. On the head. Oh, beautifully done.
Can I have the football so I can change channel, please? You see, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So, OK, I want to change channel.
Yeah.
Look at that. Fantastic.
It's a brilliant idea. Yo, boys.
Oh, you know what?
Oh, footwork, the old feet.
You can make your own mind up. Those shorts, they should be illegal.
Time for another short break now, but after that...
Otis and I face the very real prospect of total humiliation as we battle to learn a whole new skill online in just 1 month.
I'm so stressed.
And who's got the best tech, us in the West or those out in the East? John and I face a mini-challenge to find out.
OK, now it's time for a bit of a global challenge. Here on The Gadget Show, we're often scouring the world for the latest and the very best tech. Sometimes we head east to Japan or South Korea, and sometimes to the west, to the States, Europe, or indeed here in the UK. But who has got the best tech at their disposal, the East or the West?
To find out the answer, I headed off to Seoul, capital of South Korea and centre of gadget innovation in the East, while Susie investigated developments in the West by exploring state-of-the-art technology available in London.
In the past, it's always felt like here in the West we've been getting our gadgets months or even years later than they get them in the East. But with things like gaming consoles now having worldwide launches on the same day, has the East-West technology gap closed? Well, we decided on 3 head-to-head showdowns to find out. First, we looked at the differences in broadband connection speeds.
We all need access to the internet, whether it's to look at our emails, download some music, or watch the latest episode of Gadget Show Web TV. But to do any of these things effectively, we need a fast connection speed.
95% of UK households access the internet via broadband at an average speed of 3 to 4 megabits per second. But speeds go up to 8 megabits, and one service provider is offering up to 50 megabits per second using fibre optic cable. Currently, BT is investing £1.5 billion rolling out superfast broadband to 10 million homes across the UK, which should deliver speeds of up to 100 megabits a second by 2012.
So, I reckon we're pretty well set here in the UK. Do your worst, Mr. B.
I think I've got this first one sewn up because Seoul, the capital of South Korea, is the most connected city on Earth. Back in 1995, the South Korean government decided it wanted the best broadband infrastructure in the world. It invested billions to achieve it, and the result is that 90% of South Korean households now have broadband speeds of between 50 and 100 megabits a second. And some people get even better than that. This is Christine, who's acting as our interpreter. Now, what sort of broadband speed do you get at home?
1,000 megabits.
1,000 megabits?
Yeah.
And how much do you pay for that?
18,000 won in Korean money.
18,000 won a month?
Yeah.
That's under a tenner. So she gets 1,000 megabits for under a tenner. Brilliant. 1,000 megabits means that South Koreans can download an HD movie in less than a couple of minutes, whereas even if you had the fastest broadband available in the UK, it would still take at least 3/4 of an hour to download the same film.
OK, John, I think it's fair to say that we have got a way to go, but I'm more confident about round 2.
This round is about advances in mobile phone technology. We've had music, video, email and the internet for a few years now. So what are the latest developments available on both sides of the globe?
An exciting new mobile phone technology is file sharing, like Nokia's Ovi service that they've just launched for their latest E-series.
This allows you to access your home computer from anywhere in the world and lets you view photos and documents, download and listen to your music and send and store files even when your computer is switched off.
Of course, South Korean mobile phone technology embraces everything we have in the West. But what's really remarkable about mobile phones here is that almost half of them come with digital mobile telly. Here in Seoul, you get 12 TV channels live in real time and free, and they cover things like news, entertainment, drama and so on. You just pull up the little aerial and the picture quality is really very good indeed. Since it was launched back in 2005, over 17 million people have been able to watch mobile telly on the go, including when they're travelling on Seoul's excellent metro service. So it's looking like a clean sweep for the East as we reach our final round, finding the most exciting new gadget on sale in our respective cities.
Well, Mr. Bentley might be too up on me, but I reckon I've come up with the ultimate gadget that not even the East has thought of yet. This is the Swap, the smartwatch and phone. A watch that incorporates a mobile phone, music player and video player. And it's the future of high-quality, converged mobile communication.
Its features are accessed through a 1.5-inch TFT touchscreen, and it comes with a 512 meg built-in flash memory, as well as a 2 gig flash card memory, so you can simply sync information to your computer via Bluetooth or USB.
The East doesn't have the Swap yet because it's exclusive to the UK, and there's more designs on the way.
Nice try, Susie, but I've got something far more impressive. It's this, a lavatory seat. Now, normally in Britain, if you get a warm loo seat, it means previous incumbent has been on it recently. But this is a Gadget loo seat, and it has naturally an electric heater incorporated. After you've spent a sort of pleasant time on it reading your book, you then have a number of different washing options available. For example, you can alter the strength of the jet here. You can move it forwards and backwards using this control here. You can alter the temperature of the water here, the temperature of the seat here. There's even a massage function. There's settings for normal bottoms, settings for the ladies, and afterwards you can dry it with this control here. Now, these things are everywhere here. I've got one in my hotel room. It's really rather fun. And I'd really love to take it home, only I'm sure when I got it back there'd be some sort of incompatibility with the British plumbing system. It's great.
Well, that was absolutely fascinating, guys. I loved it. I mean, I'm quite surprised because I felt we were closing that gap from west to east, but seemingly not.
Well, a bit maybe, but so much of these advantages is down to investment and the thought that's gone into their infrastructure. Yeah. Because, I mean, the internet is so quick for a lot of people, they don't even have to think about how quick it is. It's bound to be quicker than anything they want to do with it.
Yeah, you're right, and you're right as well to a degree, because there are areas of gadgetry we are closing in on, like phones, for example. But I also think gaming's closing in.
You're right, especially this year, because there are loads of really big blockbuster titles coming out from Western developing houses for both Xbox 360 and PS3. So, yeah, we're closing those gaps.
All right, well, if you fancied the look of that little swap watch that I had, you could own your own if you enter and win this week's fantastic competition.
Yeah, and how about a shopping spree in Seoul, where John went, the capital of South Korea? We're going to enable you to go there. We're going to pay for your flights, your hotel. We're going to give you 500 quid worth of spending money, and to capture those gadget holiday moments, we'll give you one of these, the Panasonic TZ7.
Yeah, and that's not all, because we're also going to give away all the gadgets that we think you will need to give your life a tech makeover. Hold your breath, here comes the very long list.
You could win a week-long shopping trip for 2 people to Seoul in South Korea, including flights, hotel and £500 spending money, an Axitron mod book, the sharp 19-inch telly that won in John's test, and a swap watch.
A Panasonic TZ7 compact digital camera, a 50-inch plasma TV, a 32-inch LCD TV, and an in-focus DLP projector, a high-def Blu-ray player, and 20 Blu-ray movies.
A high-end desktop gaming PC, a MacBook laptop, a Canon Pixma MP630 printer, a Nintendo Wii and Wii Fit, and a DSi.
A Microsoft Xbox 360, a PS3, a PSP Go, as soon as possible after launch, a Paramat gaming chair, and a whole load of games for all the consoles.
An Apple iPod Touch, an Arcos 5 personal media player, a 5.1 surround sound speaker system, a high-def Panasonic camcorder, a Sony reader, a Rovio mobile webcam, a loaded Dervish longboard, a bulletproof USB memory stick, and an Oral-B Triumph electric toothbrush.
A Slingbox Pro, a Marin mountain bike, a pair of Skullcandy TI headphones, a copy of FX Home special effects software, a Berghaus Bioflex rucksack, a Magimix 5200 food processor, and a Yogi Gatekeeper Pico.
A Griffin Smart Talk Bluetooth headset, a Power 8 workshop, a Pocket Surfer, a Philips webcam, a Cobb barbecue, a Wolf-Eye Shark torch, a Flatlight, a Dyson Ball vacuum, a Sony D100 digital photo frame, an Aladdin Challenger flask, a Philips juicer, and a Flip Video Ultra.
Altogether, it's a prize fund worth £15,500. And to be in with a chance of winning it all, you'll need to know the answer to this question.
Who was nicknamed the Naked Chef? Was it A. Gordon Ramsay, B. Jamie Oliver, or C. Ainsley Harriott?
To enter, call 0904 1616 555 or text A, B or C to 63555. Calls cost £1.50 from a BT landline. Calls from other networks may vary, and from mobiles will cost considerably more. Text costs £1.50 plus one message at standard network rate. For rules, go to 5.tv/win. Lines close at midday on Monday the 24th of August, and of course we'll show the question again at the end of the show. Good luck.
Right, now it's time to return to this week's challenge, which you'll remember is between our star pupils here on the Gadget Show, Bradbury and Dealey.
Present.
Yep. The concept was to see if we could learn a skill in just 1 month by using tutorage only from the internet.
I was attempting to become a guitar-playing rock god,
whereas I was trying to become a gourmet chef.
Yeah, that was the plan anyway.
We only had a matter of weeks to learn our chosen skills, but neither of us knew yet what our final challenge would involve, until, that is, we had another message from our Susie.
Right, sit up. Now that you've chosen your skills, I have chosen your tests to take place at the end of this month. Dealey, you're first. You will play with Coldplay tribute band Coldplace at a festival gig in front of hundreds of people and an expert judge. Bradbury, You will learn to cook 9 sample dishes, and then you will cook 3 for top chef Anthony Worrell Thompson in his own restaurant. Are there any questions? Good. I can get out of this ridiculous outfit.
That's fantastic! And really scary. Really? Jason doesn't have to do his in front of hundreds and hundreds of people. The challenge was on, and motivated largely by fear, I had found a huge number of online resources to help me in my quest to become a guitar hero. From the hundreds of guitarists offering help on YouTube, I found a series of videos linked to a site called Justin Guitar, run through donations by Katie Melua's guitarist Justin Sandico, which became my learning guide of choice. Okay, so it should sound like this. Okay, so that one's wrong. This is going to take a long time, and it's going to be really painful.
While Otis was getting to grips with his lessons, I was starting my cooking odyssey. Having never even learnt the basics of cookery, I had visions of Anthony Worrell Thompson turning his nose up at my creme brulee. So I needed some top tech to help me out.
I think this is the perfect solution, not just for my challenge, but for any kitchen. It's called the Mod Book, and it's a standard Mac book that's been modified by a third party, and it's had this sort of tablet thing put on the top. So now, rather than using a keyboard and a mouse, which in a kitchen environment get really cluttered and get full of food and stuff, you use this pen here, and it's really straightforward.
And most importantly, I'd found some great online resources to use on it.
I'm just connecting to my absolute favourite website. I've looked at loads, but this has got to be the one. It's called Ruby, and it's a fantastic online cooking course and recipe website. It's got high-definition video. The audio and the commentary are on separate tracks, so you can fade down the music.
Using bespoke sites and forums, gradually I was picking up the basics. I was even learning how to chop like a top chef.
Ow! Ow! Ow!
Well, mostly, but in terms of my chosen dishes, I was struggling.
Right, I'm trying to make a chocolate mousse. Do I use the yellow bit? Oh, no!
Without face-to-face tuition, I couldn't always work out where I was going wrong.
The egg white on his video is really light and fluffy. You know, it looks like a cloud. Whereas mine, look at mine, it's like a brown goo. It's disgusting. This is, like, bad.
Meanwhile, I was trying to fit in my online lessons whenever and wherever I had the chance. And help was always close at hand. I found a guitar teacher who offers lessons on Skype all the way from Poland. And I even got Sting to help me out with guitar lessons on iLife's GarageBand.
The next chord is a D minor 7th. On the E string, we play the second finger, like this.
Although I might have been getting ahead of myself. With time running out, I moved on to the song I'd been given to master, Yellow by Coldplay. I'd found loads of help online for how to play it. The trouble was there seemed to be some complicated methods. What's a B add 11? So I went straight to the horse's mouth, hooking up on Skype with Grimsby's very own Chris Martin and my future bandmate, Shane from Coldplay, who fortunately had an easier way of playing the song, using a capo device across the strings to raise the pitch. Okay. I'm only playing Yellow, ain't I? Hey, that wasn't bad. Hey! But of course, there's always one impossible chord. Oh, are you serious? That sounds horrible. I am really worried about what I've let myself in for. I mean, I've got a week to learn the song inside out and perform it on stage in front of a crowd.
Meanwhile, I was virtually living in my kitchen.
Right now, I could be on my Xbox in a huge online multiplayer fragfest.
I'd like to say that all that time spent was paying off, but some dishes were proving impossible. Take my panna cotta, which instead of being set firm like a jelly, was always lumpy and runny.
I've got the same problem as I had before. Exactly the same problem. It's like liquid. I cannot work it out.
However, the rest of my menu was definitely getting there.
All right, Mr. Dealey. Chef Bradbury's coming to get you.
So they both had a month to learn their new skill, but would they be ready? Would Jason be ready to serve a feast fit for the very lovely Anthony Worrell Thompson? Or would Otis be able to hold it together in front of hundreds of baying, rock-savvy music fans? Trust me, of all the challenges you've seen on The Gadget Show, you absolutely have to join us for the conclusion of this one. It's something else. Welcome back. Right, I think we know why we're here, don't we?
Yes.
OK, let's get on with it then. For the last month, these two have been trying to learn a new skill online. Otis here has been trying to learn to play the guitar, and Jason's been trying to turn himself into a top chef. However, will their newly acquired skills stand up to the tests that we've provided for them? Let's find out.
It was challenge day. Jason and I were about to find out if our month-long internet training would be enough to impress the experts.
I had to cook for Anthony Worrell Thompson.
Whilst I had to play at a tribute band festival, it was fair to say we were both terrified.
I arrived at the Windsor Grill, Anthony Worrell Thompson's upmarket eatery, ready to discover which of my 9 dishes Anthony had chosen for me to prepare.
Anthony's chosen menu is eggs Benedict, chicken and chickpeas, panna cotta with a berry compote. I'm excited, but that couldn't be more complex.
Timing was going to be crucial, so I set to work on the dish that would take the longest, the dreaded panna cotta. Under intense test conditions, I was struggling to get the right consistency for this delicate dessert.
Totally forgot about them. Let's try all this again. I'm so stressed. I'm so stressed.
Away from my own kitchen, and with only the internet to guide me, I was feeling the heat, and further attempts didn't prove much better.
I think the internet thing's got it wrong.
However, I did eventually finish the mixture, although I wasn't confident.
It's lumpy and weird.
And I was already well behind time.
Meanwhile, I'd met up with my new bandmates backstage at the Retford Rock Fest for a first attempt at playing together. And while the nerves were getting to me, my judge had arrived. Enemy news editor Paul Stokes, a guitar-playing music journo who scrutinised some of the best guitarists in rock. I'd be joining Coldplay for their final song, and as they launched their set in front of a sellout crowd, I was getting seriously worried.
Meanwhile, just as I was in meltdown in the kitchen, my judge had arrived and was perusing my menu.
It's going to be a big test for him. I mean, I wouldn't have selected some of those dishes as a first-timer, and especially when you haven't been taught personally, you're just learning off the internet. Be interesting to see how he's interpreted instructions.
Well, it was fair to say that my fragile cooking skills were being tested to their absolute limit.
Right, think, calm.
My online resources had taken me so far, but I was still a long way from mastering these complicated dishes.
I haven't poached the egg. It's eggs Benedict. I've not done the egg. Unbelievable. Where's the sauce? I'm so stressed, I can't even see.
I was seriously running out of time.
I'm going to have to speed you up, Jason.
Doing it now, boss. You're going to have it in 3 minutes' time.
OK, because you're now costing me money. I've just had to turn customers away.
Oh, no, you're joking, really?
Yes.
Oops.
It was carnage in the kitchen, but finally I served up the starter.
Eggs Benedict.
Right.
OK, now I'd love to stay and see your response, but you're never going to get your next course if I don't run off.
Out.
Well, while Anthony prepared his verdict on my eggs Benedict, I finished off the chicken and chickpea main course.
OK, there. I'm not as happy with the chickpea...
Aren't you?
...cake as I had hoped.
I'm quite pleased. I went to the dentist yesterday.
And then it was the moment of truth, the panna cotta.
This is the thing that could save me, all right? This is the one thing, the one dish that I have never got right, feared more than anything.
Every time I'd made it, it hadn't set. I prayed this time it would come good.
Yet again, man, it's too runny.
It may not have set, but after a bit of improvisation with the presentation, maybe all wasn't lost.
OK, that's it. Your dessert, sir.
My pud, I like. There you go. Actually looks very attractive.
Does it?
Yes, I think it does.
Oh, thank you.
You sure that's not salt on there? It is icing.
That is actually icing sugar.
There's a distinct flavour of panna cotta of the sea.
Well, the signs weren't good, but it was time to face Anthony's final verdict on all 3 courses.
This was saved by the bacon.
Oh, good.
The bacon was lovely, nice and crispy. The hollandaise sauce was lumpy, tasteless. The egg was flat. Now, as for this, it was burnt on the outside. The inside was just like a paste. And this, that's got great potential. But next time use sugar, not salt.
Yeah. That is hilarious.
Well, Jason's judge had spoken, but back in Retford, it was my moment of truth. 1,000 people, fake Coldplay, me and a guitar, and no internet to help me now. No bum notes so far, and the concentration level required was intense.
Look at the stars, look at the
Amazingly, it was so far so good, but that tricky chord was coming up. Yes, a bit of a fudge, but I got it. I was rocking Retford. Otis Dealey may have left the building, but what had my judge made of my performance?
I was pretty impressed, I have to say. I mean, there were no bum notes in the wrong place. There was no moments where, you know, you went, oh, that's terrible. So he managed to play the right notes at the right time. To be a bit of a guitar geek, I don't think he was pressing the strings hard enough. If you don't push down, they tend to buzz a bit. It's quite static on stage. Reminded me of the Velvet Underground, perhaps. Not so much a Coldplay performance, you know, very sort of craft work almost in his performance. But I think, you know, for first time on stage, that was a really good effort and, you know, fair play to him in front of that audience. He did well.
Oh,
brilliant.
May I just applaud you both for your bravery?
Thank you.
Oh, how nerve-wracking was it for both of you?
It's terrifying. I mean, the kitchen as well, it was 85 degrees outside. The kitchen, it must have been over 100.
You lost it. You put salt instead of sugar.
I know, and I was fully focused on it. I mean, I really practised and I tried my very best. And do you know what? It just went to pot.
It just goes to show how difficult it is to learn, though, doesn't it?
It really does. However, having said all of that, I've got to say, even though I didn't obviously do particularly well, the internet stuff out there for learning to cook is just brilliant. How about
Did you find the same thing?
There was a wealth of sites to go to learn from. Just so many.
Brilliant.
No excuses for
but
not
bottom
learning.
line, you had a month and the limited time, then you had to go out in front of all those people.
That was impressive.
I didn't see all of those people in the way I just did when I saw it played back. I saw the first front 2 rows and then my head was down and I was just trying to get in the zone.
Craft work.
OK, well, look, I've got some results here of what the professionals thought of you.
Okay.
Jason, I'm going to start with you. Your overall is 4 out of 10.
I'm quite pleased with that.
OK. Otis,
Ooh, that hurts.
you got 6 out of 10,
Yes!
which makes you the winner of this week's challenge.
That's my first challenge I won!
Is it? Seriously?
That's all we've got time for this week.
So funny.
When he calms down, we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Oh.
Next time on The Gadget Show.
Jason and I face a race across London at breakneck speed as we become cycle couriers.
Right,
Thank you.
To test the newest electric bikes and sat-navs.
Otis heads to the south of France to try out a car with sci-fi looks that runs on air.
And John puts HD camcorders to the ultimate test as he takes them to Florida to try and record the launch of a space shuttle.